Hi again. Welcome now to week 11. We are discussing unobtrusive research and evaluation research this week, which is kind of fun actually, because for many of you, research methods, you've been wondering, why am I taking this class? I am not going to get a doctoral degree, or I'm not in a doctoral program. I'm just getting a master's. I do agency work. I'm a teacher, whatever, and I'm not going to ever do research, so I don't know why I have to take this class. Well, this is the week that for many of you who never think they're going to do research are going to find out that you have probably, in fact, already done research, and if you haven't already, you will find that the information you get this week will be very useful in the kind of work you might be expected to do as someone holding a master's degree in child development, or a master's degree in family studies, or a master's degree in counseling and development. Okay, so I hope that gets you pumped, excited. First of all, we have unobtrusive research. This is not the part I'm talking about, but that's going to get you all excited. That's the next chapter. But unobtrusive research is something that we try is research that we do where we are not going to be obtrusive to the data. Oftentimes, this is performed as secondary data analysis, or it might be that you do analysis of artifacts. And content analysis. This is stuff where, let's see, the definition Babby gives is unobtrusive research, methods of studying social behavior without affecting it. Now, you know, anytime that we try to study behavior by having a questionnaire or interviewing or anything like that, some of the common critiques that we get are there might be self-report data that, you know, is not accurate, or there might be a selection bias, or social desirability in answers. These are all dangers to the validity and reliability of the data. So unobtrusive research is something that you can do where you're hopefully not affecting that data because you're doing it from, well, you'll see. So the first thing the book talks about is content analysis, and this is a really interesting thing. A lot of people like to do this. I've seen students who are trying to get publications while still in grad school do a content analysis of the last 5 years articles in a certain journal, for example, or something like that, to sort of identify themes, frequencies, etc. A lot of different reasons you might do content analysis, and the book does a nice job of explaining what it is and how one might do it. But that is, you know, looking at artifacts, books, articles, television shows. It's the content of something that you are investigating. And it discusses that, talks about coding, etc. And then it talks about analyzing existing statistics, which is sometimes referred to as secondary data analysis, where you take some data that's already been collected, and then you look at it. You look at it that way. And it talks about sources and problems to validity for that as well. And then it talks about comparative and historical research and analytic techniques related to that. And then we have chapter 11, which talks about evaluation research, which is really kind of exciting to me because at Purdue I was able to be a part of a lot of different evaluation projects. We had a place there called the Center for Families, which was frequently approached by different organizations, agencies, and communities for evaluation of projects. Because those of you who will go into a doctoral program, or who perhaps, and will take grants writing, or who perhaps in their job with an agency have to write grants, you know that evaluation is a big piece of that. And oftentimes you need an external evaluator to give it extra reliability and validity. And so oftentimes we were asked to do those things. So I did a report to the Legal Aid Corporation. You can see Kinsinger, that was my old name, way back when. We also did an evaluation of the Indiana Child Care Financing Initiative. This was an initiative the state of Indiana undertook to look at, they were offering financing to child care, and they wanted to evaluate how that was working. And then I have this book that I used, Measuring Program Outcomes, that I used for a parenting education evaluation that I was involved with. So evaluation research is very applied and very appropriate to any of the careers that any of you are preparing yourselves for, because oftentimes you will be asked to investigate, is what you are doing working? So if you're a parent educator, does coming to your parent education session result in differences in parenting styles or behaviors in the parents that come? If you're running a court-ordered anger management program, does coming to your program, you know, offer improvements or not? You'll be asked to provide data that says that what you're doing shows the outcome measures. So evaluation research, chapter 12, should be very interesting for all of you, because even if you're interested in just applied, just true research, basic research, evaluation research is part of that. And if you're not interested in basic research, evaluation research is the kind that you're probably most likely going to find yourselves doing. So that's my intro to that topic. It talks to you all about needs assessments, evaluation research, cost-benefit studies, program evaluation, outcome assessment, all those different things that are important. It also discusses quasi-experimental designs again, which I want you to make sure you understand. That's where we don't randomize subjects, oftentimes because we can't, right? We can't say ethically, I'm going to give you anger management and you I'm not. Because ethically we probably should offer, if we have the expertise and the abilities, we should offer it to everybody. So sometimes we'll do a quasi-experimental because we're not going to randomize our groups. So we might go find a group of people who don't have access to anger management and assess them compared with our group or something. So it talks about the time series designs, non-equivalent control groups, multiple time series designs, etc. So I think that'll be a chapter that will be pretty enjoyable for you. If you find something enjoyable in this class, I think this week will be the week that you find it. Okay, so that's a little overview of what we'll be discussing this week in our readings and in our research cafes, etc. You also have a literature review that is due on the 14th at 5 p.m. And I encourage you to ask me questions if you have any about how that should look. I've already given several video discussions about what a lit review should look like. And your chapter, week 9, the PAN text, does a great job of telling you how to lay out a lit review. The things I'll be looking for when I grade. I will be looking for logical flow. I want to make sure that you have tight organization, that it makes sense to me. How did I get, when I get to a paragraph, I want to know how I got here. I want you to have set me up all the way along for what's coming next. I want to be able to expect it. I don't want to be taken on a bumpy ride. Sometimes I might write in the comments, this is really choppy. It means I feel like I'm being bumped around. I don't want to be going down the stairs on my bum, boom, 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 boom. I want to be on the ramp. That's a smooth descent, okay? So I want to know where I'm going. If you need to make an outline, do it. I'm also going to want you to include your introduction that's been revised with your literature review, because I will have another look at the introduction. I will not be grading the introduction, but I want to look and see that you've made the revisions, and I want to make sure that it's flowing into your lit review well, because at the end, when we do your final proposal, it's all got to go together, and I'm going to grade the entire thing. So take advantage of the opportunity to have extra input on that introduction. Although I won't spend a lot of time with it, I'll be mostly focused on the lit review, and I will not be grading the introduction again, just the lit review. But make sure it is logically organized. Make an outline so that you know where you're going. I think a lot of times, a lot of you I wrote in your critiques as well as in your intros, tighter organization, be more economical, be more concise. Once you give me a point, make it and move on and don't return unless it's really, really important and applicable. A lot of times I saw people talking about something and then they'd go on to a different topic and then they'd come back to this topic they'd already discussed for 3 pages and then they'd go talk about something else and then they'd come back to the same, and I couldn't figure out why we were doing that. So if there was a reason to it, you need to make sure it's clear to your reader. Have somebody else read it. That is the best advice I can give you, because they are going to be able to tell you if it makes sense. It makes sense to you no matter what, because you're writing it, it's all in your brain, and you're putting it on paper, and so it makes sense to you no matter what when you read it. Let an outside person read it and say, whoa, I don't even know what this means. This term you keep using and you haven't explained it to me yet. Because if you're immersed in the literature, certain Sherman's jargon, phrases that are jargon, makes perfect sense to you, but may not to somebody who's not reading that same literature. So take time to do those things. That's all I have for you in this introduction, because I only get a certain amount of time before YouTube tells me they can't upload it. So I will stop for now. If you have any questions, though, by all means, feel free to contact me and let me know. See you online.